I'm Katie Cherniak, a PM for Visual Studio Subscriptions. Thanks for joining me today as I share some tips and tricks to simplify your subscription assignments. I'd like to talk about why it's important to assign your subscriptions to developers and the difference between the Visual Studio IDE and Visual Studio subscriptions. After you have an idea of what's included, I'll take you a tour of the portal where we can do some assignments, and I'll share some new features that should simplify the assignment process. You may have already deployed Visual Studio subscriptions to all of your developers, but have you completed the important step to assign subscriptions to them? When you assign subscriptions, your developers can sign into the Visual Studio IDE with their email address, removing the need for product keys. Their subscriptions also give them access to all of the benefits you see here in the subscriber portal at my.visualstudio.com. One of my favorite benefits is Pluralsight, where your developers can access hundreds of courses to improve their skills. This benefit includes skill assessments and hundreds of courses ranging from C# and cloud development to machine learning, blockchain, and even algorithm training. Your developers also have access to Azure credits that refresh monthly. Developers can use these for dev tests to learn and experiment with new technologies before spending company resources in your production environment. If they need more Azure services, they also have access to dev test pay-as-you-go discounted pricing. If your developers get stuck and need technical support, they also have free support incidents included with their subscription. This allows them to get the help they need quickly and easily. So you know your developers have access to Visual Studio when you assign subscriptions, but did you know they also have access to almost all of the Microsoft software available for dev test usage? This is the downloads page where you can see a sample of the most popular product downloads. I'll share ways to control access a little bit later. Now that I've shared the advantage of assigning subscriptions, I'll share some tips and tricks on managing them in our admin portal at manage.visualstudio.com. You'll need to be set up as a super admin or admin on your organization's agreement if you aren't already. Your primary contact on your agreement is automatically set up as the first super admin and should be able to give you access. Once you're in the portal, you'll see subscriptions that have already been assigned by an admin in your company. Here, you'll see a drop-down where you can toggle between agreements if you have access to more than one. You'll also see some icons on the left-hand side that open additional panels. The first icon opens an overview of what's available and assigned on your subscription. It's broken down by subscription level so you can easily see. Your second shows the agreement details, including emails, links to email any of your super admins. The third icon shows the maximum usage report, which allows you to see the highest number of assignments over a period of time. If you're a super admin like me, you'll see a fourth icon that allows you to expand and set agreement preferences. These are super helpful to reduce the number of steps when assigning subscriptions, since they allow you to set a default subscription level. This will be used when you add an individual assignment. Communication languages that are used to send our initial welcome or assignment email to your subscribers. If you're using Azure Active Directory, you can increase governance by disabling external subscribers, which will allow you to only add new assignments that are from your Azure AD tenant. You can also add a contact email address at the top, where we'll send any emails that come from your subscribers. Now, let's talk about how you can easily assign subscriptions. We have a couple different ways that you can give your developers subscriptions. Individually, where you can search through your Azure AD tenant or manually enter their email address if your organization isn't using Azure AD. Through a bulk Excel template, where you can upload thousands of users at once using Excel. And if your organization has an agreement that can overclaim subscriptions, you'll see a third option to use Azure Active Directory groups. This is my personal favorite way. Once you've added an Azure AD group and assigned a subscription level to it, anyone added to the group within Azure AD will automatically be given a subscription, and anyone removed from the group will have their subscription removed. This helps you automate assignments by creating groups for teams or all developers within your organization. When new developers join the organization, they simply need to be added to the appropriate Azure AD group, and they can start using their subscription immediately without you or another admin needing to do anything. Regardless of whether you're using an individual Azure AD group or the bulk Excel option, you can control access to downloads and product keys. For individuals or Azure AD, access is controlled using this toggle. Be sure to choose the correct country and language so that we know what language to send to your developers for their assignment email. We also have a reference field where you can add notes. If you already have individual assignments but want to simplify things by switching your users to use Azure AD groups, we've made this process easy for you. You'll see here, Esteban and I both have individual assignments. We both have Visual Studio Enterprise assigned to us and are not being managed through an Azure AD group today. When I add an Azure AD group that is the appropriate subscription level that we're both members of, you'll see we will be absorbed by the group and managed by the group moving forward. You'll see the group is syncing right now, and momentarily, it will be successfully added and will be managed there. Today, there's no limitation to the group size, but one thing to note is that we don't support nested groups. So you will want to make sure that all of your developers are directly members of the group. We've also recently updated our filtering, so you can easily search and type for people based on their name, their email address, or reference field, or use the pickers to search for specific subscription levels, who has download access, or languages. Check out the admin dashboard for an overview of what's happening on your agreement. You can see a quick overview of which admins have made what changes, or click this button to download a full export of the past 30 days. Lastly, we have a support tab. Today it has how-to videos, helpful resources, and an FAQ section. By the time you're watching this video, it's very likely that this new feature will be live where you'll be able to submit help tickets and get help directly in the portal for anything that these FAQs don't address. We also have a feedback button where you can share your feedback for specific or generic feedback relating to specific pages of the page. Don't be afraid to share the good, the bad, and the ugly, and just know that I do read this on a daily basis, and it does not go into a black hole. Thanks again for watching, and I hope I was able to show you something new today.